Viruses affect people all over the world, including HIV and AIDS. Many people feel as though they are educated on HIV, however, that is not usually the case. HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus, and it can infect people of any race, of any age, and of any gender. Originally, HIV was found in chimpanzees in South Africa. The virus could not affect humans, but then humans began to hunt and eat the chimpanzees, and then the virus morphed into something that could infect humans. HIV is contracted through the sharing of bodily fluids, so someone can become infected when they partake in sexual activities with someone who has HIV, or through the use of sharing needles, or they can contract it from their mother if she is infected when they are born. HIV is very difficult to cure because it infects the very cell whose sole purpose is to rid our body of viral infections. And each cell has its own makeup, so it would require many different types of a cure to heal all of the infected cells in the body. There are treatments and medicines readily available to subdue the symptoms of HIV, but there is no cure to end the virus as a whole. It is stated on AIDS.gov that there are currently 1.2 million people infected with HIV in the United States. That is 1.2 million people in our home country who suffer on a day-to-day basis with the symptoms of this deadly virus. When researching HIV and AIDS, there are many debates that arise. One of those debates is prevention versus treatment when it comes to a cure. Many people feel as though we should put our time, money, and resources to finding prevention and stop more people from becoming infected, and some believe we should put all those resources to finding a treatment to cure those who are currently infected. There are current prevention methods that exist, however, they are not all that effective. Such methods include abstinence and education. It is stated on cdc.gov that abstinence is the only 100% effective method to prevent HIV. However, abstinence is not a reliable method because no matter what people may say, they may plan to abstain from sex, but people often find themselves in situations they never imagined they would be in and can become infected. Many education programs that already exist are not that effective because they do not get the required financial support or volunteers to be successful. Many people in other countries do not have access to education or condoms and such to protect themselves because they don't have the resources or financial ability ready to have those such things. Many people feel as focusing on prevention leaves those who are already infected feeling abandoned, as if they are left to live with this virus and the symptoms on their own with no hope of a cure. However, there are treatments available already, however they are very expensive. One of those treatments is antiretroviral therapy, and this therapy slows the rate at which HIV grows in the body. As I said before, these therapies are really expensive, and it results in a stack of medical bills that becomes almost impossible to pay off. In the article, The Cost of Treating HIV, One Man's Monthly Medical Bill, it is stated that the average lifetime cost of treating HIV is $379,000, which ends up in a monthly medical bill of $3,000. This not only creates a financial struggle for the families of those with loved ones who are infected, but it also takes away from the money that could be donated towards finding a cure to end the virus as a whole. $3,000 a month is a lot to pay on top of monthly bills that people are already faced with, especially those struggling on a day-to-day basis. In order to effectively save lives, we must put all of our time, money, and resources into prevention. More specifically, we need to work on finding a vaccine. If we work only towards finding a cure, we will find ourselves in a cycle. We will end up curing people, but then more people will become infected, and then we would end up just having to cure them. However, if we find a vaccine, we could end the amount of people becoming infected, and then we could work on helping those who are already infected, getting ourselves out of the cycle. If we have a vaccine, that means we have a better understanding of the virus as a whole. So doctors will know better how to be able to cure all the cells in the body, and we could end up curing those who are infected and saving people from becoming infected. If we work and find a vaccine, that means we will lower the growing number of those who are infected yearly. No one should have to live with HIV. No one should have to suffer through that on a day-to-day basis, especially not those when it is not their fault, such as infants. Many people judge those who are infected with HIV or AIDS because of the stigmas that surround the virus. However, it is time to stop judging people based on their race or gender preference, and it is time for us to educate not only ourselves but each other on this virus and learn how we can help. When looking at all the options and arguments surrounding AIDS and HIV, there is one thing that is clear. We must stay united as a nation and a society, and we need to help those who are infected by working on effective prevention measures and working towards finding a cure. And we need to discover a way to keep more people from becoming infected. We need to work together to save as many lives as possible and finally bring an end to this issue.